This is a video on quadratic regression. We're going to learn how to use our calculator to find the equation of a quadratic function, or the equation of a parabola. So, I have the table here that I'm going to use, and this would be a question that they say, write the equation of a parabola. Or if you watched a different video on successive differences, this would be a way to check your answer once you've used successive differences to determine its quadratic. So I have these values, x and y, and I'm going to use my calculator to find the regression equation. So I have up here the steps, and I'm going to follow along with you as we do it on our calculator. Okay, so our first step on our calculator is going to be to hit the stat button. The stat button is located next to the X button, or next to the arrow. Then I'm going to select edit. If you're like me, you may have some values already in your L1 and L2. That's fine. We're going to clear them out. So what you're going to do is you're going to use your upwards arrow to go up top so the column is highlighted. So if you can notice now my L2 is highlighted. I'm going to hit clear and then hit my right arrow and it clears everything out. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go over and up so my L1 is highlighted, hit clear, and go back down. So now that I have two empty columns, I'm going to enter in that data that I had using my X as my L1 and my Y as my L2. So if I go back to my table, I'm just going to label it L1 and L2. So I'm going to enter 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then I'm going to hit the right arrow to go over to the L2 column. I'm going to enter those numbers. Okay, so that's the second step. You're going to enter all your information into L1 and L2. My third step is to go back to stat. But this time I don't want to edit anything. I want to calculate something. So I'm going to use the right arrow to scroll over to the calculate screen. And if you take a look at number 5, it says quad reg. That stands for quadratic regression. So that's what we're going to be using in this case. If you were finding a regression for an exponential or a linear or a cubic or a logarithmic or a sinusoidal, there's lots of other types of regression, but for this video we're using quadratic, so I'm going to select choice 5. When I do that, it brings up this screen. I want to make sure that I have my correct information. I entered my x's in L1, I entered my y's in L2, and that's it. Everything else should be empty. I'm going to scroll down to calculate and hit enter. And here is our information. So I'm going to copy and paste this for us onto the screen. So that way we have it. Okay. So this gives me A, B, and C, but your last step is to substitute in. So instead of ax squared, I'm going to put in negative 2x squared. Instead of plus bx, I'm going to put in plus 1x. And instead of plus c, I have a plus 5. So you can leave it like this, or if you want to get rid of that 1 in front of the x, that's fine too. And there you go.